And now, you're tuned in to RBLR, the home of Tampa Bay's RBLR Sports.
Welcome in to RBLR Bucs here at RBLR Sports. And we have officially, for real, actually, I think, gotten the new season on the train tracks, and it is moving full steam ahead. And
it is rolling.
With us and with me, my name is Eureka, and with me here at RBLR Bucs, with the first pick in the 9th round of the podcast draft, I'm selecting Musaab. Man, how are you doing, sir?
Well, I'm doing fantastic. Like you just said, Eureka, with this draft being done, it's the start of a season, and for that reason, I am very, very pumped.
And of course, I'm trading 5 future 10th rounders to move up in the podcast draft to select a guy we have had circled on our board for a long time. That is Mikey. What's good, man? How are you doing?
What's up, man? What's up? You guys can call me GM McFly right now since I hit on that first round pick. And anybody out there, if you need help in fantasy, when fantasy comes around, I am your guy. I charge a minimum fee. So I'm excited to keep it going, man. Let's go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, we could first thing we could do.
You gotta give me my props.
Yeah, I gotta do this right off the bat. So Mikey McFly, you said with the 32, they were gonna take Joe Tryon, and that is exactly what the Buccaneers did. So kudos to you. I'm
an insider, bro. I'm an insider.
Big round of applause, sir. And what's even funnier is that your crystal ball was just a little bit off, because at 63, with the Bucs 1 pick away, you had Creed Humphrey going to the Bucs. The Chiefs took that dude with 1 pick before the Bucs could get him. So you were.
I would have been lovely to be 2 for 2.
Yeah, man. Yeah, a couple other good ones that you had. You had. Chapel Russell almost right on the nose. You had him as kind of the Mr. Irrelevant. The Jaguars swept him up at 241, and you even picked a guy that you had very high hopes for. Eric Burrell goes as an undrafted free agent to the Saints, and we will talk about the South and what they did. But when I'm looking at Musaab's table here, he wasn't too far off either, man. Levi Onwuzurike, he had at 32 to us. Not too much longer. The Lions took him about 10 picks down. And Joseph Osai, you had us at 64 taking him. He only went a couple spots down to the Bengals. So you guys had, I mean, to be honest, man,
close.
I think there is something, man. We could start our own little GM service here, and you guys are definitely in the room, man.
Consulting for these guys. They need some help.
Yeah, man. Well, that's fun. It is fun to look back and you got all these guys and who they're gonna go with, and today that's what we're gonna talk about, is who the Bucs selected and how we think they're going to fit in to this 2021 and the future. So the first piece of business that we'll get out of the way is that Blaine Gabbert has officially rejoined the pirate ship. Blaine Gabbert's back, baby. I know you guys were really worried about our repeat chances, but rest assured, man, we got Blaine Gabbert, so it's all smooth sailing from here.
It's happening. Yeah. It's happening. We're going for that repeat.
Well, the thing,
that was the missing piece.
I mean, the thing too is that this brings up a good question that I'll ask you. Is that with Blaine Gabbert coming back on a 1-year, $2.5 million deal, Musaab, do you think there's going to be room for Ryan Griffin on this team?
To be honest, when you asked me that, Eureka, I don't know, but I'm sorry, I don't mean to say it like this, but unfortunately, I also just don't care. I don't think. I mean, the dude hasn't even played at all, so I don't know. If he doesn't make the team, then so be it. Just for the for the memes and just as a joke, sure, it'll be nice to sign him or whatever, but no, he's not a worry. I'm not concerned about him. As long as we got Blaine now, then I'm happy because now with us getting Trask, I think there's just another guy that Kyle Trask can learn the playbooks and also kind of have that good football IQ that Blaine Gabbert has, just from observing Brady and just the experience he has. So no, I don't think I'm not really too worried about the Ryan Griffin situation, whether we have space for him or not.
Yeah, Mikey, I think Ryan Griffin's probably the first hurdle that Trask has to leap over
For sure.
for his rookie season.
Yeah, and once the avocado tequila kicks in, I wouldn't want anyone else next to Tom Brady but Ryan. So, keep him around me. I think he'll be a good, practice squad guy. He might be a great quarterback in the quarterback room.
Yeah.
He might be a good teacher, maybe smart in the books. But I'm not, I wasn't expecting him to take that backup role. So I'm cool with him on the roster or him not being on the roster. Yeah.
Well,
It's Ryan Griffin.
if the unthinkable happens and number 12's got to take a game off, how comfortable are we with Blaine Gabbert as the backup?
I'm pretty comfortable, man. I think he's a veteran that's been in this league for a long time. And the times that he did play, he completed passes. He looks like he has an understanding of the playbook. He has a physical traits AB or a BA. I'm sorry, BA. Stands behind him, thinks he's a great quarterback. So I'm comfortable with him taking over a game or two if necessary. I wasn't expecting a rookie quarterback to come in and lead us to the promised land if something were to happen to TB12. So I'm glad that we were able to bring him back and make sure that our Super Bowl squad is complete and that quarterback room is as it was last year during our Super Bowl run. So I'm confident TB's going to stay healthy, but if not, I think this is a great backup, and I'm sure Musaab agrees.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Mikey, for sure. I think he deserved to come back as he did. He did a great job in the backup when Brady went out. Granted, it was in games where we were blowing out the other team, so it's something I'm fine with. I think he's someone that can, as long as we're kind of already with the lead, I think he can at least allow us to hold the lead. And I'm really excited to see what our defense is going to do this upcoming year with these new draft picks as well. So it's not a big worry. I think it's going to be fine. I'm happy he's back. But I also wouldn't be surprised if he turns out to be our third string because Kyle Trask, goes off and, whenever he gets his opportunity. So right now, in my mind, I kind of see a battle between Trask and Blaine Gabbert right now temporarily, but I would not be surprised within maybe week 1, week 2 that, Coach Bruce Arians is like, all right, I think we're going to give the young guy a chance, and we're just going to have, Blaine kind of just coach him on the sidelines while Brady's playing. So when the time is right, Brady's got to come out for whatever reason. Blaine's going to tell him, hey, just make sure you do this, this, and this. I just think that, he's the only
confidence in the young guy.
Yeah, I got a lot of confidence in the young guy. He's the only quarterback we have that's under the age of 30, I think. So I'm always rooting for the young guys, and he had a stellar performance in college. So he's not like some kind of, I would say, some 6th round QB. I know I was talking about like Ian Book or even Davis Mills from Stanford, but I don't think he's like those guys. I think he's going to be better. Is he going to have the same kind of ceiling as Justin Fields or Wilson from BYU? I'm not sure, but I think he has a chance, and the fact that he is learning under Brady it's a blessing, and I think he's going to take advantage of that.
All right, well, let's get into who the Bucs actually did pick. I'll name these guys off one at a time. I guess we'll have you guys give me your thoughts. Why did the Bucs take this guy? Strengths, weaknesses. What are maybe things to grow on? But first, Mikey. I mean, you hit it on the head.
Damn,
32.
I didn't see this
overall.
coming.
Joe Tryon. Outside
What's up?
linebacker, edge rusher from
Washington.
the University of Washington. Mikey,
Yes,
man,
sir.
I know you were very high on him, and that's why you picked him in your mock draft. But now that it's reality, how do you feel about the Bucs taking him at 32?
I love it, man. I love it. I think Washington produces the type of defensive line that obviously Jason Light likes, and defensive coordinators in general, because there have been a few that have come off the board. This guy is big. He's athletic. He's a freak of nature, man. He took last year off, which many people would take as a negative. It's 2020 season. Other guys are out there battling and fighting. Although he did take it off, man, he was working. He was working with ex-NFL players. He was training. If you see this guy's video, this guy's in tip-top shape. His workout videos from the offseason and stuff like that. So I'm excited, man. I think this guy is going to fit in well. It looks like he's coming in with some confidence. He has the size, the ability, the physical ability to do what he needs to do in the NFL. So I think if he comes in, with that high motor, willing to learn from JPP and from Shaq Barrett and from those other guys from our defense, and he plays his role, I think he can develop into a very strong edge rusher. And I'm looking forward to seeing how he develops with our team. And I think it's the perfect pick, man. That's why I picked him at 32.
Musaab, how are we feeling about Tryon in the first round?
I'm feeling good. Kind of a little overall grade. I'm gonna give a B plus, but I'm gonna explain why I say that. Well, first thing is overall in the draft, what I kind of love is we got a bunch of these vets who are gonna be helping our young group. So it's really nice to see kind of that being that we are the Super Bowl champions, we're just drafting for the best available player. And I think we got the best available player. He's got a little bit of raw talent, but a very high ceiling. And I don't think we're gonna need to kind of force him into the lineup ASAP. If he's not ready, then he's not ready. That's okay. We got our guys who are starting. We got JPP and Sue and Golston. But even looking at the overall depth of the linebacker, I think we can afford to develop Joe Tryon at an ideal pace, and for that reason, I'm really happy. But the thing is, I just put B plus because what Mikey was saying, he's got the size, the speed. I mean, he's really just an absolute beast. But my only thing is, you're playing with a whole different group of guys. Can you execute like you did in college? So that is something that we're gonna look forward to. But now, kind of in a little futuristic lens, this first round pick gives us a nice potential replacement down the line for JPP, because it's important we do these kind of things, especially kind of getting these potential future replacements, because we're going to be getting younger, especially during with those positions where Suzak, JPP, Golston, because they are all going to be potentially free agents after this season. So overall, I know he's going to have his opportunities to play this season. And I think it's going to be kind of like a little learning year. I think he's going to be doing a little damage here and there, understanding, all right, it's his rookie year, so I don't blame him. But he's going to be making a huge impact his sophomore year. The way I kind of see this Joe Tryon guy, I think he's going to kind of have like a future like, Devin White does, doing some damage first year, but second year, that's when you really know his name. That's when the whole league's going to know his name. So first year, I got high hopes for him.
How many sacks would you need from him rookie year for it to be a success? Are you thinking like 5-6 sacks?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, because we are the Bucs, and I want to make sure our guys stay on tip-top shape. I'm looking for 6 or 7. 6 to 7 sacks for him his rookie year would be very nice.
That'd be a pretty solid rookie season right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The very next guy the Bucs took at 64 was Kyle Trask. I know Musaab's high on the big guy. What are you guys feeling on quarterback Kyle Trask?
So from what Musaab was just talking about, our defensive line is getting older. I was hoping that we would either stick with defense. We need more defensive linemen or offensive linemen. I was completely blown off by the Kyle Trask pickup. Hadn't heard much of him prior to drafting him, and since we drafted him, I had to go back and do some research and do my homework. He was the Heisman. He was in the talks as a potential Heisman Trophy winner. He led the league or led college football in touchdowns. So this guy has potential for sure. He's not one of these mobile quarterbacks that you're going to see running around making plays out the pocket. Doesn't have the strongest arm, but he has touch. And I went back and I looked at, you can look at the highlights, but you look at the highlights and you're seeing all the good plays. So I went back to his game against Alabama, and watched all his throws from Alabama. And this guy is poised, man. He's stuck in there. You know, played against Mac Jones, right? That's the other quarterback, Jones, who got drafted by the Patriots, and he kept up with them. You know, the stats were similar. I think Matt Jones had a little bit better stats, more yards, more touchdowns, but you know, this guy was poised in the pocket. He made good throws. The throws that were incomplete were still hitting the receivers in the chest and in the hands. You know, had a few fumbles, which, you know, happens in big games. You know, as long as it's not happening too much, it should be fine. So I think this guy has a lot of potential. Kind of reminds me of Tom Brady in a sense, in the fact that he's not super athletic, right? People are saying he's not athletic. He doesn't have a strong arm. He's more of a pocket passer. You know, I trust our GM and our coaches, man. You know, I'm the kind of guy who I want to win right now. So Tom Brady's 43. Our head coach is older. I would have much rather go after some more defensive guys, some more offensive guys, win now, and worry about those quarterbacks and offensive prospects that come out in later years. You know, we got Blaine Gabbert as our backup. You know, and I'm sure other ones will be available soon. So I would have wanted to wait. But now that we got him, he's a Buccaneer. I'm going to ride with him, and I think he has a lot of potential. And I'm looking forward to hearing what Musaab has to say, because I know he's pretty high on Kyle, and I want to know why, man. Why are you so high on him? Break it down for me.
I'll tell you why, Eureka and Mikey, because you know, with this draft being that we are the Super Bowl champions, looking at the best available player, I think this was a kind of a ballsy pick, to be honest, but I think it's going to pay off. Just, you know, as you were saying right now, Mikey, you know, the guy was a Heisman contender, finalist, actually, Heisman Trophy finalist. You know, he had season passing records at UF. And, you know, what I just really like about the guy is he waited his time, you know. At UF, you know, he saw 4 quarterbacks start in front of him, and then that's before Felipe Franks got injured in 2019, and then Kyle Trask took over and, you know, did a pretty good job, and then had a phenomenal season in 2020. I just think that, you know, he just has that kind of ideal size to me. He's tall dude, pretty accurate pocket passer, and you know, personally, I saw during some games when Florida was playing against other teams, I saw, you know, here and there during his time at Florida that he was throwing to Kyle Pitts and Tony repeatedly. So he knows, you know, who to target. And I think the only thing that I'm worried about is how is the chemistry going to work for a rookie quarterback and, you know, all of our guys like Godwin and, you know, Evans, even Scotty Miller. I'm curious to see how that works out, but you know, I just think that this was kind of a little risky pick. Personally, yeah, it was a tad bit early. I didn't think we would actually get a quarterback in the second round, but you know, there's just some picks I feel that are a little risky. People are gonna be, you know, kind of you know, not really expecting it or not really rooting for it, because the thing was, you know, beforehand, Kyle Trask wasn't really a topic of discussion when it come to, you know, us drafting a quarterback. But you know, now that we got him, you know, I'm riding with him. I'm supporting him, and you know, like with any young guy, I'm rooting for them. And I really do think that him learning under Brady is going to be something that is special. And in the future, you know, whenever Brady does retire, which hopefully is never soon, I think he's going to take up the job, and he'll be I think he'll be leading our team to the playoffs.
Wow. Musaab, man, he's on the Trask Train, brother.
I'm on the Trask Train. Yep, I was just gonna say that.
Man, all right, brother. Well,
I got concerns though, man. I mean,
okay,
I don't know. You know, being patient and waiting your turn can be a good thing, right? Like, you know, sometimes you gotta be patient. But I hear stories all the time of QBs leaving to other schools because they don't want to be a backup. You know, this guy would have never got hurt. You know, I guess my concern is he an alpha male that can take over and be that dominant guy that wants to win and win now and be the top dog? You know what I mean? Brady's a top dog. He's not going to sit behind nobody. A lot of these quarterbacks that, you know, get drafted early or high prospects, if there's someone ahead of them, you know, they're moving schools, they're transferring schools. What Cam Newton was behind Tim Tebow, he left. I mean, it happens all the time. So, you know, it's curious to see, and I guess we'll see as the seasons go on, and we see those interviews and see how he performs. But I'm interested to see what that personality is like. If he's more laid back and he's okay being that backup fourth, second guy, third guy, or if he really wants to be the GOAT for Tampa. So
I think he has that alpha male. I think this past 2020 season, he was the man of the hour. And all eyes were on him.
he got a taste of it. He won't let it go now.
Yeah, he has a taste of it. And I think he's only okay being backup because it's Brady. I think you put this guy in any other team, I think he would definitely be saying something to the office about, hey, if you're going to be drafting me, then, you got to be, I hope you are thinking of me as starting. But, when you're under Brady, I don't think you need to be having any questions or talking to anyone. If anything, he just needs to show up to practice every day, show up to the games, and whenever he gets that chance, he needs to execute well. Yeah. But I think he's got that. I think he's got that alpha male mentality. I think he's ready to be a star whenever his time comes.
Nice. Let's see.
Yeah, and I think my quick opinion on it is just that I think this is a favorable situation a la Rodgers behind Favre. In a different way, though, because I think Brady actually wants to maybe pass on the legacy. I agree. I think Brady wants to put his arm around a guy and say, hey, if you sit there and you do what I say and you get this in, you'll be a member of this and we'll hand the keys over and we'll get it going. But for Trask, we've both kind of said, or we've all said, he isn't the strongest or the best, but there are tools, and so in this, like Musaab said, there isn't a quarterback controversy. There will not be a quarterback controversy at all, and maybe he starts out as the third guy and then beats out Griffin, and now Griffin goes to the practice squad or whatever, and then. Throughout the season, he kind of works his way up and then maybe passes Blaine Gabbert by midseason. And now we're talking in 2 years, he'll probably get his shot. All the meanwhile, he's still a second-round pick. He's got a pretty good signing bonus, pretty good contract to sit there and hold the clipboard and hopefully get some jewelry. So.
I agree with that take. I think Tom Brady is looking forward to the opportunity of mentoring somebody and bringing somebody up. Yeah. So I think that's definitely on Kyle Trask's, as on his good side for sure.
Well, think about it too, man. I mean, here's a guy that's going to have that's part of his legacy for Kyle Trask. Mm-hmm. He was sat under Brady. He's going to be here, and so now when Kyle Trask does get that time, I think everyone's going to be looking at him, even if it's his first year playing, and we're talking years in the future. But we're going to be sitting here going, all right, dude, well, you were behind Brady, so you have no excuses about, like, if you paid attention and you figured out what we were doing right, you should have the tools and have upgraded. So it's going to be kind of a catch-22 is that he's not playing, but there's going to be very, very high expectations when he does play. Now, saying all that, let's go to our third-round pick. Mikey, they went to the trenches. They got a guy on the offensive line, Robert Hainsey out of Notre Dame, man. I would say, Mikey, give me your thoughts on Hainsey here.
Yeah, it's always fun to talk about offensive linemen. Offensive lineman is one of my favorite positions to cover. So I'm glad we got a guy in the third round. I think this guy is going to be a very good NFL offensive lineman. Guy is big, he's strong, he's explosive, and he has great movement in the run blocking scheme, man. You throw on the film, and this guy is running up to the second level, man, and taking linebackers out, creating holes for the running back to run through, creating alleys. I was pretty impressed when I turned on the film and I saw how good this guy moves his feet, how quick he gets up to the second level. Great blocker, he has awesome form. So I'm pretty happy with this draft pick, and I think it's a need that we had to fill. Right, our offensive line is much better than what it has been in years. But we got an awesome pick last year. Donovan Smith played lights out for a majority of the season. He was very consistent. Our center has 1 year under his contract. He's a big piece. So I think getting a young, talented guy with high ceiling and high potential at this spot in the draft, I think it was a great pickup. And I look forward to seeing him battle for a starting spot early on. So I think he can come in and get a starting spot early in the season. So I'm excited about this one.
Musaab, man, are you excited for this pick, or do you feel a different way?
I am. Yeah, I'm. I don't know. If I want to say excited, but I'm happy we got
Offensive
an
line, man,
O-line.
you got to be excited about offensive line.
I mean, I'll be excited when I see him perform. Is what I'm saying is.
Seeing some pancakes.
I think, yeah. I think, though, is what I like about this guy, and what I saw from his tape and everything like that is he was very consistent. He did a really good job protecting his quarterback, and that's all I really care about. And what Mikey said, all of his kind of skills. He's make sure he does everything he can, even whether that be blocking the linebackers. So we're just gonna have to see how he deals with these NFL D-line, defensive ends, and even these linebackers who are just a whole different breed than the guys he played against in college. But the experience he had in college, I think, should help him. And I think just overall, I think he's a solid depth piece for the Buccaneers right now. And I think he could develop into a starter down the road. I think the way I kind of see his upcoming season's kind of something like Aaron Stinney. I think his time's going to come whenever we, really need him. And I think we'll be able to get him in, on the field, throughout the season. But I think he'll be making a name for himself later on this season.
All right, and without going line by line with all these guys, I kind of wanted to open it up as an open discussion about the day 3 guys. I mean, you have Jalen Darden out of North Texas as a wide receiver, KJ Britt, linebacker out of Auburn, Chris Wilcox and Grant Stewart in the 7th round, both on the defensive side of the ball. So I say, Musaab, how are we feeling about does any one of these day 3 guys stand out? Are these going to be guys that are going to make the team? How do we see these guys impacting the Bucs?
Yes. The one I see standing out the most is Mr. Jalen Darden, wide receiver from North Texas. The way I see him is, I think he could possibly be like one of those kind of hidden gems in the NFL draft. I think there's always a few of them every year. I think he might be one of them. He's a small dude, but he is quick. And the way I'm looking at his role on the Buccaneers is I'm looking at his role specifically being in the special teams position, whether that be punt returner, kick returner. And it's going to be important we get a nice kick returner or punt returner. I think that maybe was something that we needed to work on, because it's going to be important. If we got a good guy who's returning the those kicks and those punts, and he's taking us down the field, with plenty of yards, it's just going to help our team overall, especially when you really need those points with those field goals. Just imagine, we're going against a really good team, and every single point matters, even those field goals. So if we can get down the field because of this guy, it's going to help us big time, and I think he's going to be really, really useful. But then again, we have a stacked receiver group, Eureka and Mikey, so we may not see much of him until maybe the 2022 season. But either way, he's got potential, and I think he can even work really well with Scotty Miller. Just imagine both of those guys on the field at once. And I will say this, that I've looked at reports and stuff like that, about what's going on, about how these players feeling, and how does Coach Bruce Arians really feel about all these guys. And he did mention that Tom Brady was actually pretty fired up about the Jalen Darden pick, just because he just thinks that with the incredible speed and quickness this kid has, I think this could be a lethal combination. Him and Brady could be a very lethal combination, especially with him playing, primarily out of that slot position.
That kid is a firecracker, man. I like what you said. I think one area that we have been lacking in talent is that kick returner, punt returner position. And when we signed AB, I was hoping he would kind of fill in that spot. Somebody with a little bit of spunk that can make people miss. And you throw on this guy's tape, man. This guy is a freaking lightning bolt, dude. He catches short passes. He has quick, shifty feet. He can make people miss, and he hits the burners and gets some yak, which is something that I enjoy, man. So I had no idea who this dude was before the draft. I throw on his tape, man, and I am highly impressed. There was a highlight reel for like 30 minutes of this guy. Like most highlight reels are 10 minutes, 12 minutes. There was like a 30-minute highlight reel of this dude. And you throw it on, man, and he's catching these little passes, and he's shifting between guys, making people miss. He almost looks like AI out on the football field, like crossing people over, dude, breaking ankles left and right. So I agree with Musaab, man. I think this might be a sleeper pick right here. I really hope that he can, that's part of his arsenal, and that they will utilize him for the special teams, because I think that's an area we can improve greatly on. And our receiver room is stacked. You know what I mean? Unless there's injuries happen, he's gonna have to really work his ass off to get some reps in the receiver department. But special teams, he's gonna rock it. And when his number is called as a receiver in the slot, I think he's going to perform extremely well, man. I'm very excited about this guy. And I think the other guys in the draft that we picked round 5 and the 2 in the 7th round, I think these are going to be great special teams guys. Obviously more of a defense on the defensive side of things. The guy from Auburn, big body, runs around, lays people out. I can imagine him running around on punts and kickoffs and laying some dudes out. So I'm excited about him. The cornerback from BYU, Chris Wilcox, not too sure about him. I didn't get to see too many highlights on him, so I don't know if either of you have any insight on kind of on what his play is like, because I was looking for some stuff and I didn't find too many highlights. You guys have anything on that guy?
Well, I will say that
any insight on him? Because
well, I will say
couldn't
for
find much.
cornerbacks, people were really kind of surprised with his 40 time, which was a 4.3. I mean, the guy is 6'2", 195, so he's a pretty big guy himself, and he's got speed. But I'm with you, Mikey. I'm with you on Mikey. I think it's just going to be kind of a special teams unit role, unless he does something special, So we'll just have to see how it works out. But KJ Britt, though, I can see kind of being thrown in the rotation here and there. Obviously, he's going to have to get his experience first, but I can see him being thrown in the rotation, and especially kind of helping on those 3rd and short conversions.
For sure, yeah. I think they will utilize him, especially if one of our linebackers goes out. I can see him filling in pretty easily. He was pretty impressive when I thrown on the tape on him as well. And then our boy from Houston, man, Grant. You can't go wrong when a dude has hair like that, man. When you see that hair flowing and Eureka, you know all about that, man. That just gives you an extra level of swag.
Yeah, man.
So when you see that hair flowing, down the field, laying people out, he got something. He got something good. So I'm sure we'll be enjoying seeing him on some special teams too.
Now, the last piece, and to be fair, I haven't dug deep on a lot of these guys that are the undrafted free agents, but Musaab, any insight on a couple of the guys? I know you're like Mel Kiper Jr. this year, brother. You've been on it. Your Instagram has been the place to be for draft coverage. So, was there any of these undrafted free agents that have kind of sparked your interest?
Yes, there are 3. I got one kind of favorite one, but the first one is T.J. Simmons, wide receiver from West Virginia.
Okay.
And kind of just kind of little like basic little kind of what I just kind of got from him is just watching his tape, but also he didn't have too much tape, but what I was able to find was just a lot of random tape where it would be like West Virginia offense versus this school's defense, and I was seeing him here and there. What I like about this guy is he is very quick, and what makes him what makes him special compared to a lot of the guys I saw was when he gets hit hard, he still holds on to the ball. He gets these really kind of these crazy catches here and there, and the thing is, he gets hit hard, but he holds on to the ball. So seeing that he is an undrafted free agent, he's going to have to earn his stripes. He's going to have to work his way up. But perhaps he could help out when it comes to that kind of depth / special teams. If for whatever reason the Jalen Darden thing doesn't work out, or, we realize, hey, maybe Jalen Darden is just an absolute beast and we could even throw him in the starter, then, we can have this guy maybe enjoying our special teams. But being that he's an undrafted free agent, it's just kind of just an extra guy on the team just for depth, and we're just going to have to see how it works out. But one guy I really kind of liked when I was watching him was Stony Brook safety Augie Contressa.
Okay.
I kind of like this guy because he kind of gives me Derwin James kind of vibes. And, and I say Derwin James because I actually saw him at Florida State University when I was attending there, and he was an absolute beast at that time. And, when I watch his tape, he kind of reminds me of the guy. He's able to rush really well for his safety, towards the quarterback, gets him down without any hesitation. But he also kind of hits hard. I see him easily kind of turning into Whitehead's apprentice. I'm sure you remember that. Everyone remembers. I don't think anyone's ever going to forget, Bucs fans, when Whitehead just rimmed that Packers running back, and then D. White picked it up, and all the boys were running down the field. So that's something I see. When I see Augie Contressa, that's something I see. I see this guy doing a lot of damage whenever he does get the time, because being that he is an undrafted free agent, I don't think anyone's going to be expecting him to be that kind of second string. So hopefully he does well during, over the summer and the preseason, whenever he gets a shot. But I think this guy has a high ceiling. And the last guy is just Calvin Ashley. He's an offensive lineman from FAMU. The only thing I just really want to say is he's an absolute just bear. I mean, this guy's like 6'7", 300-something pounds. He kind of reminds me of DeMar Dotson. With the people he was going against, and I don't mean to just come at any HBCU, but the games or the play style for HBCUs, or the level, it's a lot different than the NFL, of course. And this guy, being that he was like this 6'7" beast, I mean, it's going to be real hard if you're a college D-line, unless you're special, trying to get past a guy like him. So I'm interested to see how he does against these grown men in the NFL. Will he get his chance? Maybe so. But I don't see this guy doing anything this season. Maybe in the end, maybe because of something, urgent, maybe because our second string has to now go first string, we might be like, hey, Calvin, we may have to throw you in, be prepared. But I wouldn't be surprised if the guy doesn't play all season. Or, unfortunately, if he doesn't do well, I wouldn't be surprised if the guy just gets cut.
Sure.
Those are just kind of just like my little three kind of overall undrafted free agents. And I'm going to say this is, there are undrafted free agents for a reason. Sure. When I try to look up these guys' information, there's really not much. I'm sure these guys are kind of like the other important person on the field, other than maybe the star wide receiver or whatever star safety was on their team. But obviously with Augie Contressa, he just comes from a small school. So hopefully he can adjust well to the NFL. And if he's able to, I think he has a very high ceiling.
Yeah, I would say the last thing I would do is let's kind of take a look around the rest of the NFC South, and then I will ask you guys for a final draft grade on what you would give the Buccaneers for the 2021 draft. So if we're taking a look around, I would think the Atlanta Falcons had probably, in my eyes, the best draft of any of the division opponents here. Round 1, pick 4, they take Kyle Pitts out of Florida. This is a guy that I think will start from day one. He's going to be a problem, especially for the Bucs defense. I think this is a guy that's going to give us some fits. And they're going to have to game plan for this rookie. If he gets his head on straight, he's going to Matt Ryan's going to have him in the crosshairs. Round 2, they picked up Richie Grant out of UCF. It's a very small school in Orlando, and they. Another guy that's going to, I think, start for them on day one. Richie Grant is as well as I don't like the school he goes to, go Bulls, but he's a very talented guy who played at a high level. And then their third-round pick, Jalen Mayfield, that's a guy that Musaab had on his board as a target that the Bucs should go after. So how are we feeling, guys, about the Atlanta Falcons and their draft?
Yeah, man, I think they scored big with that Kyle Pitts kid. And I think it fits their scheme perfectly. It's a piece that they needed. You know, they got a pretty solid offense already. And to fit a guy like that in, to put him next to Julio Jones and their other weapons, I think they're searching for their Tony Gonzalez, right? They've been missing the tight end, the powerful tight end that Matt Ryan can get it to. He likes his tight ends. Him and Tony had a good relationship and gained a lot of yards. So I think this is a really good pick for him, and I think we might, he's gonna show up on those games for sure on Sundays against the Bucs. So I think they did a good job, man, and I still think they're gonna suck because it's Atlanta Falcons, but but the Kyle Pitts when they drafted him and they showed his highlights and you kind of understand why they drafted him, I think that was a really good pick for them.
For me, there was only one tight end I knew in college football this past season. That was Kyle Pitts. So this guy is, as Mikey said, this guy really is just a different breed of prospect compared to any other tight end. And him working with Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley on the field with Matt Ryan, it could be a little bit of a threat. But as Mikey said, I don't know, man. I don't really see overall anything really working out. I think I see Kyle Pitts becoming one of those guys where it's like, wow, whenever Matt Ryan does, connect with him, he does a great job. But the thing is, how many times will Matt Ryan connect with him? How many times is he gonna find him? I just don't think it's a worry. I'm with Mikey. It's not going to be a big worry. I think Julio Jones is going to do a great job just because he is Julio Jones. Calvin Ridley, I don't know. It's going to be like a hit or miss for him, whether he has an amazing season or just an okay season. But Kyle Pitts, we're just going to have to see. He had a phenomenal career at UF. But we're going to have to see how he goes against these grown men in the NFL. Because I don't know. I don't think he's ready for our guys. Maybe he can take on the Panthers and the Saints, but our Bucs, we're not gonna let him slide around here and there and rack up some touchdowns.
Well, the Panthers would be the next team I'll bring up, and they got I think they got the best corner in the draft at pick number 8. That's J.C. Horn out of South Carolina. Absolute beast. He's a starter through and through. And the Panthers, they had a lot of draft picks, but they also have a lot of holes. They tried to get another weapon for Sam Darnold in Terrence Marshall Jr. out of Louisiana State. He's a guy that also is going to be a threat from the outside receiver position. And then they're hoping that maybe Braden Christensen out of BYU is going to challenge to be a starter on the offensive line. So they're trying to fill up some holes, give Darnold some weapons with their day 1 and day 2 picks. And then maybe out of their day 3 picks, you could look at a guy like Hubbard out of Oklahoma State. He's a running back that could possibly get in the number 2 slot behind Christian McCaffrey. But Musaab, what are you feeling? Mikey, what are you feeling about the Panthers draft?
Yeah, I think J.C. Horn is good, but who's he gonna cover? We got so many receivers. They're gonna need 4 more J.C. Horns to do anything against us, man. So I ain't worried about it. We'll be all right.
For me, 3 things is first is J.C. Horn is an absolute phenomenal football player, but what Mikey was saying, all right, so he covers one of our guys, all right, great, but we got a whole variety of weapons on the field, so that's cute, J.C. Horn, that you got one of our guys covered, but tell your boys to cover our guys if they can. But I'm not a Panthers fan, but I'm gonna say this though is I don't think Sam Darnold's the answer for the Panthers. And personally, I thought they should have just drafted Justin Fields, honestly. Because I think Fields is going to turn into a top 15 quarterback in the long run. And I think the Panthers are going to regret this decision. I think J.C. Horn, I think he's going to do a good job but there's only so much you can do as a great cornerback when you're playing for the Panthers. I don't know. The Carolina's defense, they're trying to do everything they can, but I don't see anything working out for them. And, them throwing J.C. Horn, all right, cool. Like, yeah, you'll improve a little bit, but I don't see anything special. Perhaps maybe they'll win another, one more game or two, maybe, compared to last season. But that being said, Chuba Hubbard looks pretty interesting to me. I mean, I saw him a little bit in college. Obviously, nowhere. He's never going to be like Christian McCaffrey, or maybe, probably not. I don't think so. Yeah. But I think he might be able to fill in. Kind of like that Mike Davis kind of role. Trying to get some yards here and there, helping McCaffrey out with the reps. But just like the Falcons, I am not worried at all about the Panthers.
And rounding out the rest of the division with the New Orleans Saints, who, I don't really know how to. Here's one of these things where right now I think they bombed the draft. I think that they have needs, but unless these guys hopefully know more than I do, I think the consensus is that they reached with their first-round pick with Peyton Turner, defensive end. I mean, this is a pretty deep draft, and they maybe could have traded down and still been able to get their guy. I mean, their second-round pick is a linebacker, Pete Werner, out of Ohio State, and then they go corner again on day 2 with Paulson Adebo out of Stanford University. And then they take Musaab's guy, Ian Book, quarterback, Notre Dame, number 133 overall. Musaab, man, are you surprised that your guy is going to the division? New Orleans Saints, Ian Book, man.
I am not surprised. I think they needed a guy like him, but overall, I don't think. All right, and I don't say this because yes, I wanted to draft Ian Book, but I don't know. I only wanted Ian Book because I think he can learn under Brady. I just don't see him fitting well into the Saints the Saints team. Yes, Sean Payton's a great coach, and I'm sure he can teach Ian Book. But to me, Ian Book just he just gives me like these vibes, like kind of like a poor man's Taysom Hill. Honestly, yeah, I'm sure he's. You know what? I'm just gonna say like that. I think he's just gonna turn into like the next Blaine Gabbert, honestly. Okay. And I don't see it as an insult to Blaine Gabbert.
Wait, hold on.
So he'll be the number 2 guy here in Tampa. Hey, there you go.
Yeah, I think he should just come to Tampa and he can. I'm confused. He can be behind Trask whenever that time comes, because I don't think he's gonna like his time in the Saints. But I'm with you, though, Eureka. I don't think the Saints did anything special, especially with that first pick, Peyton Turner. I don't know. The dude has a lot of weaknesses. And being that the Saints are like our only really contender in this actual, specific division, I looked up the guy, and, yeah, he's good. But, he has a history of a lot of these injuries. He's still kind of dealing with things, still recovering overall. So, I don't know. I mean, this guy, I think they picked the wrong guy, honestly. We'll see how it goes, but overall, I just see the Saints kind of doing the same thing. Maybe, honestly, even getting a little worse, just because they have gotten rid of a few people. But who knows? Maybe Paulson, Debo could be a dangerous duo with Marshawn Lattimore. So we'll see.
Yeah, man, I love it when our rivals drop the ball or fumble. So I'm hoping that you're feeling, Eureka, about this New Orleans Saints 2021 draft is right, and that they bombed it, and that they're gonna suck, and that they will not win a game next season. I hate the Saints, fucking Saints.
All right, well, let's turn the page. Mikey, I'll ask you first, man. What is your draft grade for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2021 class?
For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'd have to give us a solid B.
Okay.
We got the guy I wanted in the first round, who I think is a big piece. I think we may have went a little bit early with our second round drafting a quarterback. Only time will tell. And I'm hoping for the best, right? Never get it confused. I'm a diehard Buck, so I want him to succeed. It's not what I would have done in this position, but um, I'm cool with it. Offensive line is a needed position. It's not a fancy position. It's not one of those, one that everyone talks about, but it's one of those very important positions. And then I think we got a lot of depth, a lot of special teams. There's a receiver in there that I really see high potential for, although we're totally stacked. At receiver, we didn't get a running back or anything like that, which I think would have been important. But overall, man, I think we got a B. I trust Jason Light. He's on a hot streak, so I'm hoping that that hot streak continues, man, and that these guys work out. And we got some guys that can contribute in the 2021 season and beyond. So, hey, fingers crossed, man. I hope we did well, and I look forward to seeing these guys in training camp. Maybe we could do a podcast following up on how they're doing and their progress in the future. So, all positive vibes over here. I'm giving us a good solid B.
Musaab, man, I know you're high on Trask. You're on the Trask train, but how do you feel about the rest of the picks and an overall grade for the Bucs?
I feel good about the rest of the picks. I'm gonna say my overall grade is gonna be a B plus, and the reason why I say that is the first, second, third, fourth pick, to me were just a bunch of kind of A minus, B plus picks, and after that, the fifth and the fifth round picks and those two seventh round ones. I'm just curious, and I'm kind of giving them all like B minuses, and then Chris Wilcox and Grant Stewart I'm giving the C's because I just don't know how they're gonna really be working in our team and how much impact they're gonna be making. Being that we drafted 3 linebackers, I'm curious to see maybe perhaps we could have done something a little different in the 7th round. And yes, I know it's the 7th round, so we're not gonna be getting anyone special. But I was just thinking honestly that we should have used those kind of 2 draft picks to get maybe like a solid safety, or even maybe another offensive lineman. Those are kind of my two things I had up top there. If we're not going to draft a quarterback in those later rounds, which we didn't. So for that reason, I'm going to give those those last guys kind of those like a B minus, C plus. So the overall kind of grade for me is a B plus. I'm really happy with the picks, being that we are the Super Bowl champs. We're just trying to look for the best available players, and I think we did that with the first 4 picks, definitely for sure. I think we can even throw KJ Britt in there. I think as long as he shows up and he does a good job whenever he gets his time. But the Chris Wilcox, Grant Stewart, I'm a little iffy about overall. I'm not going to be surprised whatever happens with them, whether it's going to be like a hit or miss for them. So that's my final grade, B plus.
All right, Mikey, is there any final thoughts or things you wish the Bucs would have done as we wrap things up here?
Nah, man, I'm trusting the process, trusting the GM. Wish we would have waited on a QB a little bit. I'm still stuck on that just because we got the GOAT, man, and I don't see him going anywhere for a few years. So I would have been fine tackling that issue later on down the road. But I understand the want to develop somebody under the GOAT. So I'm good, man. I'm excited to see how this season plays out. I'm glad we have all our starters back, and I look forward to seeing how which one of these guys from the 2021 draft surprises me and becomes that the diamond in the rough that I wasn't expecting to be what they will end up being. So yeah, man, go Bucs.
Yeah, Musaab, man, final thoughts before we get out of here.
Final thoughts are I am very excited to see how these guys do this upcoming season. As you already know, I'm on the Trask train, so whenever he gets his chance, you best believe I'm going to be rooting for him big time. And then obviously with Joe Tryon, I think he'll be obviously making a huge impact as well. So I'm very optimistic and really looking forward to Jalen Darden. If anything, out of all those guys, Jalen Darden is the guy I'm really going to be looking out for along with Trask. So we're going to see how it works out. And just because we are the Super Bowl champs, I'm just really, really fired up, ready to defend the title. I'm ready for all the trash talking. I'm just going to tell every single one of those opponents, fans, that, hey, talk to me. I'm sorry your team didn't win. I'm sorry, you don't have Brady, or I'm sorry you don't have Kyle Trask either. So that's really about it, though. I'm really excited. And I forgot to mention, and it was one thing was, when we were talking about Jalen Darden, was I think that special teams, having a really good kick return to punt return is going to fire up that team. That's what we're going to really need. That's what we've been missing. And because of that, I think regardless, whoever is our kick return or punt return, I wish them the best, and I think they're going to be successful. And I think because of them, they're going to be helping us to the Super Bowl.
All right. Well, as the page turns, it's officially 2021. Now it feels like we have moved past free agency. We have moved past the draft, and we are full steam ahead. It feels like it'll only be around the corner. We'll be talking about the preseason, and it's a shortened preseason, so the guys are not going to have the full 4 weeks to get their game tape and move up the draft, move up the depth chart and stuff like that. So. Believe it or not, it's going to be around the corner, guys. So from all of us here at RBLR, we thank you for taking time to listen to our coverage and our opinions. If there's one thing you can do, follow us on social media. We are at RBLR Sports on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, we're there. Also, wherever you're listening to this, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, Pocket Casts, man, whatever platform you're on, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and if you can give us a review, we hope we gave you a 5-star experience, and hit us with those 5 stars. It helps a lot to get other people to learn about what we're doing here, because we have amazing Bucs coverage. We also talk about the Bolts. We talk about the Rays. We talk about our hometown Rowdies even. It's all here, and it's all for you. So once again, for Musaab, for Mikey, and myself, Eureka, we say thank you. We will see you next week, and go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.